The numbers in this video may not include everything White Brenner LLP is charging us. I have just recently been told that if litigation is active, you and I, the public, have no right to know just how much White Brenner is billing us on a monthly basis. I can think of at least 3, if not 4, lawsuits that might still be considered active, where the legal fees are mounting, but you and I are not allowed to know by how much. With that in mind, greetings everyone, this is the Gardening Snail of Livingston, California, just trying to keep the community informed and local government as honest as possible under the circumstances. In this video, we will be looking at what we were charged for general legal and human resources by White Brenner LLP in September of 2022, at least the amounts that they are letting us see. We will start out by noting the total number of hours billed by each member of White Brenner staff and how many hours were redacted from the invoice. We were billed for a total of 29.4 hours, of which 10 of those hours were redacted. Of the items that were not redacted, we were billed $1,540 for items related to the City Council meeting of September 6th, including $400 for office hours by Tom Hallinan and $600 by Doug White to attend the meeting. Doug White billed a total of 7.4 hours for the month of September, but almost 2 hours of that was redacted. If there is some travel time buried in those redactions, I can't say for sure. On the agenda for the 6th was the swearing in of Police Chief Chuck Hale, a community development block grant, a sewer line replacement project, the master salary schedule, and an attempt to add a senior administrative service manager position to the PD, a duplex project, the Moon Glow truck stop project, and how to spend some American Rescue Plan money. For the September 13th Planning Commission meeting, we were charged at least $480 for that date, with $400 of that being for office hours on that Tuesday. However, the Planning Commission meeting itself for that date ended up being canceled. For the meeting held on September 20th, we see at least $1,120 billed, with $200 of that for office hours and $540 of that for attending the meeting. On the agenda, a Community Facilities District annexation, another attempt to add a senior administrative service manager to the PD, and a TCP removal treatment project. In addition to discussion to approve a fire services agreement with Merced County and conference with legal counsel for anticipated litigation. There were $300 in charges for a meeting expected to take place on October 4th. However, this meeting ended up being canceled for lack of agenda items. Moving on to the $380 billed for items related to the audit, I noticed there are a couple of entries about a litigation summary. As I mentioned earlier, I know about at least 3, if not more, lawsuits at which the city is involved in one form or fashion or another. One by the former city manager that was suddenly let go in July of 2021, another by the former police chief who also left shortly thereafter, one by the Animal Legal Defense Fund who is suing Foster Farms and has dragged the City of Livingston itself into the mix, and one by the guy who fell into the MID canal and who sued MID in addition to the City of Livingston. If that one has already been resolved, nothing's been said about it. There could be a couple more. If there are, I don't know the specific details. Now let's talk a little bit about some of those redactions. As you can see here, these are redactions prior to the September 13th meeting. and in between the meeting on the 13th and the meeting on the 20th. Here's a list of redactions between the meeting on the 20th and the end of the month. Over 30% of the hours billed for the month of September were redacted. Moving on to human resources. The total billed for human resources for the month of September was $1,100. There was still a large past due balance. Most of that, I think, had to do with that massive dump of hours billed from December 2021 through June 2022. As you can see, everything has been redacted except for the total. How do we even know that these hours of work actually took place in September and not at another time? We're not allowed to know that because it's all redacted. Even the month and day the service was supposedly performed has been blackened out. The only thing we are allowed to know is that these hours billed were by the human resources litigation specialist at White Brenner, and we can figure that out by going to their website. If you like what I do here, please follow me on Facebook and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you don't, well, thanks for hanging out this long anyway. And keep in mind that editorial content is my own as a resident of Livingston and City Council watcher since at least 2007, and does not represent the views and opinions of the City Council or the City of Livingston, and does not represent any kind of legal advice.